Ryan Kaji is arguably one of the richest kids on the planet. He's also the fourth richest YouTuber with a combined net worth of $350 million as of 2025. This dude started YouTube when he was basically still in diapers. Like, bro was reviewing toys even before he could spell his own channel name. But now, he's 13. He is taller, his voice is deeper, and he's standing shoulder to shoulder on wealth charts with grown men who build careers, companies, and brands, which sounds insane. Like, genuinely insane. Until you watch his recent videos. Ryan doesn't look like a kid living the dream. He just looks miserable.
999,999, 1 million. Morning workout complete. I'm ready for superheroes.
Cut! Is he counting the reps or is he counting how many videos he's already done? Bro is held at gunpoint. Jokes aside, it's sad to see how he acts like a toddler even during puberty. I just hope he doesn't end up like JoJo Siwa. I think bringing up JoJo Siwa here actually makes a lot of sense. When I look at her story, it's one of the clearest examples of what happens when a kid's childhood is treated like a business and traded for fame and cash. So I'm not surprised to see people mentioning her in conversations about Ryan Kaji. We've seen this script play out before. A kid grows up famous inside a brand built around a very specific version of them, which at some point, they're not really allowed to grow out of. But let's go back to how all this even started. Because Ryan's rise didn't begin as some evil master plan. It began in 2015 when Ryan was just 3 years old. His very first video was literally just him playing with the Lego Duplo set. And if you go back and watch it now, yeah, that's adorable. There was no agenda or pressure, just a kid being a kid.
Okay, so Ryan, do you remember the very first video you posted?
Yeah, the very first video that we made was about me going to the store and me getting a Lego Duplo train and then bringing it back home and playing with it.
Oh my gosh, I love Legos. Let's see it. I love Legos.
Let's push your choo-choo train around. Can you push it around?
Uh-huh.
Whee!
Was that fun?
Oh my God, I can see why you make so much money doing this. You're adorable. So wait, you do this with your whole family. So is it fun for you? Because it is all family involved?
Yeah, it's fun to do it with all of my family. And it never gets boring because we do different things.
I know, I like changing it up as well. I mean, to Sean and Luann, how did this all start?
Well, Brian's been watching YouTube ever since he's little, and he started watching other kids on YouTube, and one day he just come up and asked me, you know, can we start a YouTube channel? There's other kids on here, it looks like they're having fun. Then I started watching YouTube videos with him, and it really did look like the family on there, the kids on there were having a blast together, so I thought, why not? We can use it as a fun experience, bonding experience together. So decided to just take him to the store and then just ask him, what toy do you want to play with? And that's just how we got started.
And I think that's why it works so well. And almost immediately, those videos started pulling in millions of views. The kids were glued to the screen. Toy companies noticed sales moving, so at some point, it became obvious what the formula was. A cute kid plus popular toys equals viral gold.
What's it like to see yourself right there?
It's so cool because I can see myself.
What's it like to see yourself there?
It looks so cool because I can see myself.
Why do you think all these kids out there like watching your videos?
Because I'm entertaining and I'm funny.
Ryan's parents found an infinite money glitch and exploited it. First we started as just a family business, just family kind of fun activities, and after 4 months it just blew up. By 2016 the channel was already sitting around 5 million subscribers. By 2017 that doubled, then it doubled again and again. By 2019 Ryan's world had over 23 million subscribers, and by 2020 it crossed 26 million subscribers with more than 41 billion total views. That number alone is insane, and that's for just one of numerous other channels, and the money followed right behind it. In 2017 Ryan made around $11 million. In 2018 that jumped to $22 million. In 2019 $26 million. By 2020, nearly $30 million in a single year. By the time Ryan was 9 years old, he had become the highest paid YouTuber in the world for 3 consecutive years. Ryan's world was everywhere. Mobile games, toy lines in Walmart, Target, Amazon, books, clothing, school supplies, even toothpaste, and then eventually a Nickelodeon TV show. Ryan's Mystery Playdate. Everything he touched turned into gold.
But he's already selling out aisles of toys at Walmart and Target like a retail veteran. What's it like to see yourself right there?
It's so cool because I can see myself.
His eggs and squishies are some of the hottest toys this holiday season. It all started with YouTube videos he made with his parents at age 3.
See you next time.
They've now been viewed more than 25 billion times, transforming the boy wonder into the 8th highest paid YouTube star. He made an estimated $11 million last year. And retailers have now turned to influencers like Ryan to get families into their stores. Why do you think all these kids out there like watching your videos?
Because I'm entertaining and I'm funny.
But like many first graders, he's just a kid too, losing his first tooth and avoiding his veggies.
Even Forbes featured his story in one article where they describe him as YouTube's $30 million man. By 2021, Ryan's World brand was reportedly valued at $500 million. It became a corporate lifestyle built around a child. Ryan's parents, Shion and Loan Kaji, quit their regular jobs as a structural engineer and a high school chemistry teacher, built a company and turned their home into a production space. Cameras, schedules, scripts, and a full team of editors, animators, producers behind the scenes, dozens of people whose livelihoods depended on one kid showing up on camera and staying marketable.
She loves you guys. She watches Ryan every day. So.
You do? Oh, that's exciting.
And this is the dance that I made for you.
Whoa.
Hi, Ryan. We're excited to see your movie. Ryan! 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 Ryan!
Welcome to Ryan's World.
In just a few moments, Ryan and his family will be here in this booth doing a meet and greet to promote his new movie, Ryan's World the Movie, Titan Universe Adventure, premiering in theaters August 16th.
Look at all these awesome fans waiting. The line goes on and on and on and on and on. Let's go check it out. Ryan's coming! Ryan!
And while the brand kept expanding, Ryan's role never really reduced. He was expected to keep delivering the same energy, the same tone, the same childlike persona even as he grew older. Ryan was working harder than creators twice and 3 times his age, with none of the protections that child actors usually get. No clear limits, no real separation between work and life. At this point, I think it's worth stripping everything back and asking a very simple question, one that keeps getting buried under views, deals, and headlines. Who actually has the power here? Because Ryan Kaji is the face of the brand. His name is on the channel. His face is on the toys. Kids recognize his voice, but being the face of something doesn't automatically mean you control it. And there was a moment recently that made that painfully clear. When John Yushue interviewed Ryan and his parents, we all expected it would be a chance to hear from Ryan directly. He's 13 now and old enough to have opinions or speak for himself, but as the interview went on, something felt off. Ryan barely spoke. Question after question came in and his parents answered most of them. Ryan mostly sat there, listening, nodding, watching the conversation happen around him, and I think it quite explains the rhetoric. Ryan hasn't been the one calling the shots from day one. These decisions were made for him long before he was old enough to understand what any of it meant. The schedules weren't built around his comfort, and the long-term strategy of the brand wasn't something he had a real say in. And even now that he's becoming a teenager, his role becomes more symbolic. However, it's becoming embarrassing when you look at the state of Ryan's World operation today. It's clear this thing isn't thriving anymore. The views are down, engagement is down, the magic that once carried this brand is gone. And you can tell, not from a press release, but from the behavior. You literally can smell his parents' desperation to keep things afloat. They're now recycling old clips, reposting reaction videos from years ago, and even using thumbnails where Ryan conveniently looks 5 with a big smile, wide eyes, frozen in time, like they're trying to trick the algorithm into thinking puberty never happened. And it makes sense why they're doing it, because the brand doesn't work as well with an older Ryan. Kids don't relate to him the same way. parents don't click the same way. The magic that made this thing explode is gone, and instead of letting it in naturally, they're squeezing whatever they can out of the past. So Ryan's World just made a movie, and it flopped, like unbelievably bad. Yeah, the $10 million flop. They spent $10 million making Ryan's World Titan Universe Adventure, pushed it hard, promoted it across the channel, and it made about $624,000. And even though you're not good at math, I'm pretty sure you know that's already a problem. Not to mention, that movie was shown internationally in theaters. Like, people could actually go in person to see this movie, which is actually a huge feat in and of itself because not many YouTuber movies make it internationally. However, the problem is, even though the movie was shown internationally, nobody was going to watch it. In fact, there are literal TikToks of people going to watch this movie and the theaters empty. Critics didn't hold back either. Low ratings across the board showed 1.7 out of 10 on IMDb, with some outlets even called it one of the worst wide releases in recent years. And when you look at why it failed, it's pretty obvious. You could see how cheap it felt, how commercial it was, how it looked less like a story and more like an extended product placement. Basically the same issues people already complained about on the channel, just stretched into a movie runtime. That flop mattered. Let's talk about Ryan, cause as of now, he doesn't seem to enjoy the spotlight anymore. You don't even need insider info to see it. In the few interviews where he's actually allowed to answer questions himself, he's talked about wanting something different. He wants to be an animator behind the scenes, off camera, creating without being the product. Take a close look at how Ryan shows up now, and it lines up perfectly. He talks less, he's on screen less, and when he is there, the energy just isn't the same. He doesn't look like someone excited about the next upload or the next brand deal. He looks like a regular teenager who wants a regular life, school, friends, interests that don't need a camera pointed at them. Imagine talking to your crush and she pulls out her phone and says, "Wait, is this you?" Then it's a video of you screaming about toy cars for toddlers. While most people get to leave their awkward childhood behind, Ryan's childhood is permanently archived, monetized, and still being pushed out like it's brand new content. But here's where things get even more embarrassing. As Ryan slowly pulls back, his parents are already shifting focus. His younger twin siblings are starting to appear more.
Oh, be careful, Ryan.
People recognize me and be like, "Hey, you're Ryan." I just realized that we're famous.
What's been the biggest sponsorship that you've said no to?
Millions of dollars. We lost revenue of 70%.
I just pushed through.
You're the first creator ever to have a...
But the difference now is that people are finally calling it out.
But you know what's not very mindful, demure, and cutesy? Child exploitation.
Across social media, more voices are saying the quiet part out loud. Let Ryan go. And when you really sit with it, the question isn't complicated. What kind of parents turn their child's freedom into a business asset? At an age when kids should be learning, exploring, messing up in private, and figuring out who they want to be, Ryan's life was turned into a profit machine. Charts, schedules, deliverables, a future gambled on consistency and clicks. For the first time, it feels like we're watching a child YouTuber step away with dignity, not through drama, not through scandal, just quietly. Ryan's world isn't collapsing, it's closing. There's a difference. Ryan doesn't talk about chasing fame anymore. He talks about wanting to be an animator behind the scenes, drawing, creating, watching something come together over time. Quiet work, real work, the kind of dream you have when you've spent enough time being watched and just want to exist without an audience. If that's truly what he wants, then this story doesn't end in tragedy, it ends in relief. No more pretending, no more freezing time, no more living as a brand instead of as a person. Ryan's world isn't disappearing, it's stepping aside. And I think that might just be the best ending this story could have had.
Ryan's time is well balanced and, he's doing really well at school right now.
Bruh, look at this dude. 999. Morning workout complete. Ready for superhero school.
After years of being worked like a corporate intern in his own house, the kid who built an empire before he could spell brand deal might actually be walking away. Uploads have slowed down, his parents are running out of ways to fake excitement, and Ryan himself? He's barely on camera anymore. For once, it doesn't look like a burnout, it looks like freedom. No more constant brand deals, no more playing with slime at the age where you'd rather be on Call of Duty or actually outside touching grass, and no more of that having fun footage that always looked a lot more like child labor than childhood. After years of being treated like a one-boy marketing machine, Ryan's world might finally be shutting down. And honestly, it's about time. You can tell he's in his teenage years now. His voice is deeper, he's taller, and he's probably going through all the same insecurities the rest of us did. Skin breaking out, figuring out how to dress, how to fit in, how to just be. But the messed up part is that he doesn't even get to focus on any of that. His biggest concern isn't who he's becoming, it's keeping up the fake image of who the brand still needs him to be. While most kids his age are trying to find themselves, he's stuck maintaining a version of himself that stopped existing years ago. Like, just imagine trying to live a normal high school life while everyone around you is doing the things teenagers are supposed to do, going out, figuring themselves out, actually growing up, and you can't. Because every person who looks at you doesn't see you, they see the little kid from YouTube, the one in the superhero pajamas, talking about alphabets, unboxing toys, and acting like he's still in kindergarten. You can't even escape it because the internet never forgets. Every clip, every thumbnail, every over-animated reaction, it's all still there, frozen in time. And now he's a teenager trying to exist in a world that refuses to let him grow up. Imagine how exhausting that is, wanting to just blend in, but instead being seen as the kid who plays with toys. And let's be real, high school isn't forgiving. Teenagers can be brutal. Every corny video becomes something to mock, every old clip becomes ammo, and when you look at Ryan now, you can almost see it in his face. That quiet, drained expression that just screams, I'm done. Like he's tired of pretending to be a kid for a world that won't let him be anything else. Like, you cannot tell me you don't see it. He's clearly outgrown all of this. Everything that used to feel natural when he was a kid, actually playing with toys and laughing because he wanted to, is just gone. Now it's mechanical. His reactions feel rehearsed, his energy's flat, and his eyes, man, they say everything. That's not a kid having fun anymore. That's a teenager clocking in for another shift at a job he never signed up for. You can see it in the way he moves, the way he talks, like he's just going through the motions because someone told him to. He doesn't look like the face of a brand anymore, he looks like the product. And the worst part? His parents don't even seem to care. They're not worried about Ryan's mental health or what this pressure might be doing to him. They're worried about the views, the sponsors, the cash flow. He's at the age where he probably just wants to be left alone, play Fortnite, hang out with friends, be normal for once. But instead, he's stuck maintaining this brand image that's way past its expiration date. And this isn't new. People have been calling it out for years. YouTubers, creators, random users on TikTok, Instagram, even X, everyone's been pointing out how exploitative it's gotten. But what's sad is that the slowdown we're seeing now isn't because his parents finally grew a conscience, it's because the numbers are dropping. The views are down, the hype's fading, and that's what's making them post less. Not guilt, not empathy, just greed losing momentum. And just try to put that into perspective for a second. This is a kid who basically had a full-time job his entire life. He's been filming since he was 3 years old. That's over a decade of performing, smiling on command, and pretending to have fun even when he probably didn't feel like it. Imagine missing out on birthday parties, hangouts, or just being able to do nothing because it's time to shoot another video, another brand deal, another script to follow. It's like his whole childhood got turned into a production schedule, and now he's a teenager still stuck in the same cycle. At some point, it stops being content and starts being a cage. But look, whether it's for better or worse, things are finally changing. The thumbnails look half-hearted, the uploads have slowed to a crawl, and Ryan's barely even there anymore. When he does show up, it's just for a quick minute, say a few lines, force a smile, then disappear. It's like the channel's running out of ways to pretend everything's normal. Maybe it's burnout, maybe it's growing up, or maybe it's just the inevitable end of something that was never meant to last this long. Either way, the shift's happening, and honestly, it feels overdue. In a recent podcast, Ryan's dad actually talked about the future of Ryan's world, and for once, he admitted that Ryan is growing up. Thank God. Because if you just looked at the channel, you'd think time froze in 2016. He said they're still figuring out what direction to take, maybe shifting toward animation or changing the content to fit Ryan's age. But honestly, it sounded more like a corporate brainstorm than a father realizing his kid deserves to move on. And yeah, it's vague, but hopefully it means that they're at least thinking about letting Ryan evolve a little. If he still wants to create content, let him do something that actually makes sense for who he is now, like gaming, Twitch streams, reviews, something that doesn't make him look like he's stuck playing pretend for an audience that outgrew him years ago. Because at this point, keeping him in that toy unboxing bubble isn't just embarrassing, it's cruel.
Yeah, right now I feel like we're at the tipping point where like the movie is a great moment, and from there, we wanted to kind of step aside and think about what we want to go. Ryan's turning 13 years old this year, so he's turning teenager. So we're thinking about, do we want to introduce something like that align with his age, like more aligned to the preteen demographic, or we want to stay on with the going more for the animation. That's something we're kind of debating right now. But I feel like there's high demand for older demographic for Ryan. So
then his dad goes on about how the main thing they care about now is balance in Ryan's life, which Sure, that's all I'm gonna say. He mentions Ryan's doing great in school, but when the interviewer asked the one question that actually matters, what if Ryan wanted to quit and just be something else, like a teacher or an engineer? His answer completely misses the point. Instead of talking about how they'd support him or how they'd helping him figure out his future, he just starts flexing about how Ryan got into snowboarding and they've been to Japan 5 times for it. What does that have to do with anything? That's not parenting insight, that's PR deflection. It's like he's trying to prove they care by listing vacations, not values. And honestly, that response says a lot more than he probably meant it to. It makes you wonder if even they realize deep down that people question how much of this was ever really about Ryan and how much was about the brand built around him.
We're kind of thinking about it, but I want to make sure, you know, Ryan's time is well balanced and, you know, he's doing really well at school right now. So maybe main focus is his school.
Yeah. If he came to you and said, "Hey, Dad, I want to be an engineer. Mom, I want to be a teacher like you," you know, I don't want. What do you say? Like, it's okay to like leave all of this behind. If like Ryan were to call it quits, like what would happen to pursue something else?
Yeah, for sure. Because, you know, like when he got into snowboard so much, right? So I think last year, how many times we went to Japan for snowboard?
Like 4
or 5 times we went to Japan so he can snowboard. So
while all of this might sound cryptic and honestly more like a PR stunt than genuine concern, it's still at least a step in the right direction. Because the fact that they're finally acknowledging that Ryan's growing up means they're starting to realize they can't just keep milking him from childhood through his teenage years. If they actually follow through on that, maybe there's hope for him to live a somewhat normal life. One where he's not treated like a product or a mascot, but, you know, a kid figuring himself out. And sure, normal might not ever be fully possible after everything he's been through, but at least it could be real. A version of Ryan's life that isn't curated for views, but lived for himself. Still, just to put it out there, it's no secret that Ryan's parents aren't exactly saints, but for anyone who doesn't know, they were actually investigated by the FTC a few years back for misleading millions of kids through hidden ads on their videos. And that's not all. Ryan's mom has a criminal record too. She was convicted of shoplifting around $93 worth of clothes back in 2002. So when you pull all of that together, the FTC investigation, the criminal background, the years of monetizing their own child, it's hard not to see the pattern. It paints a picture of a family that's less about raising a kid and more about running a business built on the face of a boy who never really got to be one. Of course, she's a woman.
If you've been a fan of this channel for a while, you know that Ryan Toys Review is being investigated by the Federal Trade Commission, who's accused the channel, specifically Ryan's parents, of subjecting preschoolers to ads disguised as toy reviews. Why is that a problem? Well, because it's very difficult for children to differentiate between regular content and advertisements, especially in the format of a YouTube video. It is illegal to put sponsored content in a social media post, like a YouTube video. Ever since the news broke that Ryan Toys Review is being investigated, people have been looking into the family's past. And it turns out that Ryan's mother, Loan Guan, was arrested in 2002 for shoplifting. She was trying to steal around $93 worth of clothing from JCPenney at Alameda Mall in Houston, Texas.
So now what's the most messed up part about all of this? It's that all this rethinking about Ryan's education, his future, and the brand suddenly slowing down didn't come from reflection or guilt. It came from declining views. The timing says everything. They only started talking about balance and letting Ryan be a kid once the money stopped flowing like before. Because let's be real, if they were still pulling 200 million views a month and raking in millions, they wouldn't care if Ryan never finished high school. As long as the checks kept coming, they'd have him in front of a camera no matter what. But now that the viewers are slipping and the brand's losing stream, suddenly it's time for a change. That's not parenting, that's damage control. And it tells you everything you need to know about where their priorities have been this whole time. So what happens after Ryan leaves? Do his parents finally sit down, look at everything they've done and think, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have built a multi-million-dollar empire off our kid's childhood? Do they realize maybe it's time to stop and actually let him live like a normal teenager? Of course not. Instead, it looks like they just swapped the faces on the brand. Ryan's out, his twin sisters are in, it's the same factory, just new workers. The cycle continues, more toy content, more fake enthusiasm, more ads wrapped in family fun. It's like they didn't learn a single thing from the backlash, the burnout, or the years of criticism. They're not building a channel anymore, they're running a production line. And the sad part is, those kids probably don't even realize they're next in line. They've already got the next chapter lined up. Ryan's twin sisters are 8 and they're already having their own spin-off channel called Equworld. At first it seemed harmless, cute little sibling cameos, family moments, just typical YouTube stuff. But now, you can see exactly what's going on. It's the same setup, just a new face. Daily uploads, toy reviews, exaggerated reactions, reactions, and endless branding. It's the same factory running under a different name. And honestly, that's what makes it look so bleak, because if history repeats itself, when these two eventually grow up, when they hit 13 or 14 and stop pulling the same numbers, the cycle will probably just reset. They'll find another way to keep the machine running, maybe another kid, maybe another gimmick, anything to keep the money flowing. It's like they've turned family content into a renewable source of child labor, and they're not planning on shutting it down anytime soon. But hey, at least we can say Ryan is finally starting to retire. Hopefully for real this time. There wasn't some big send-off, no goodbye video, no thank you for the memories moment. He's just quietly fading out, slipping into the background the same way a lot of burned out child stars do. One day you're everywhere, the next you're just gone. It's that slow fade from daily uploads to weekly, then monthly, until it's silent. And honestly, maybe that's the best thing that could have happened to him. A quiet exit instead of another forced smile. But while it might be a blessing for Ryan, you can't help but worry for his sisters now. Because if Eek World keeps following the same script, they're next in line for the same cycle. Constant filming, fake enthusiasm, and a stolen childhood dressed up as family fun. Hopefully, someone steps in before history repeats itself, and Ryan at least gets the chance to live like a normal teenager for once.
Morning workout complete. I'm ready for superhero school.
Cut! Well done, Ryan. Time to record the next scene.
Oh, Father. I've been doing this for 12 years. I think I'm too old for this now.
Shut up, Ryan! Don't you remember the contract you agreed to when you were 3?
But I was still a baby.
No excuses! We're gonna do this forever, Ryan. All the way till you're 50.
I wonder what happened to that Ryan kid I used to watch.
Hey there, guys! Welcome to Ryan's Toy Review!
Here in this clip, Ryan's explaining how he was only 3 when he got inspired by other young content creators to start his own thing. Which, fair. But then he goes on to say the channel has evolved into gaming, skits, and educational content. Either I'm blind, or Ryan's fully delusional about his own channel. Because bro, you're still making the same toy unboxing, over-animated, overly scripted, parent-approved content you were making over a decade ago. Only difference is, now you're doing it with puberty in your voice and existential dread behind your eyes. If that's what evolution looks like, go ahead and hit retirement. No shame in hanging up the toy reviews before you hit voting age.
I was really young, like 3 years old. I always saw lots of really young, like, content creators, and I asked my parents if we could do something like that. And we started as just like a toy reviewing channel, but now it's grown into so much more, like gaming videos and skits and educational videos.
And hey, it's not like I've got some personal vendetta against Ryan, or I'm outside his mansion with a retire now sign. Ryan should have been out by now, living life, touching grass, doing regular teenager stuff. Not still getting boxed in by toy reviews like it's 2014. Let bro retire before he starts unboxing AARP benefits. Here are a couple of memes just to paint a picture, and honestly, they're hilarious.
999,999. 1 million. Morning workout complete. I'm ready for superhero school.
Cut! Well done, Ryan. Time to record the next scene.
Oh, Father. I've been doing this for 12 years. I think I'm too old for this now.
Shut up, Ryan! Don't you remember the contract you agreed to when you were 3?
But I was still a baby.
No excuses! We're gonna do this forever, Ryan. All the way till you're 50.
I wonder what happened to that Ryan kid I used to watch.
Hey there, guys! Welcome to Ryan's Toy Review!
Holy shit!
Here's a TikTok that absolutely kills it. It shows Ryan at 80 years old, hunched over, still reviewing toys like he's trapped in some eternal YouTube purgatory.
Hey guys, I have some toys. I really like these. I think 8 out of 10 for this one, and a 7 out of 10 for this one. Okay, can I retire now, please?
No, still got work to do, money to make.
Oh, okay.
Day 28,937 of Ryan's parents refusing to let bro retire. Now the internet's prayers might have actually been answered, miraculously. There's been a noticeable shift in how often Ryan's family pushes out content lately, and it turns out there's a reason for it. According to a vlog they posted, the whole family moved to Hawaii, not for content, not for branding, but for Ryan's education. They said it was better for schooling, fewer distractions, and a chance for Ryan to focus on actual kid things. And to be fair, it shows. Ryan's now learning Japanese, playing piano, joining sports teams, all stuff normal teenagers do when they're not shackled to a content schedule. On the surface, definitely a positive shift. And the biggest win of all, if this sticks, future generations might have actually be spared from watching 87-year-old Ryan unbox a new limited edition Hot Wheels coffin set.
Hi guys, Today we're gonna learn simple Japanese words with my dad.
Yeah, it's Learn Japanese with Sean! It's gonna be fun, guys. Let's go!
Hi, we're at the airport.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go back to Hawaii.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Ryan already built an empire. We're talking official toys, merch lines, mobile games, Roblox tie-ins, animations, TV shows, AI characters, man's a walking brand portfolio. He doesn't need to keep filming his overly scripted preschool coded skits that he clearly outgrew 3 birthdays ago. The only thing he still does that actually fits his age is the gaming content. And that makes sense. It's fun, it's natural, and it doesn't feel like he's pretending to still be in kindergarten for views. So if anything, that's what he should stick to. Let the empire run itself and let the teenager actually be one. Every child star has one worst enemy, and that's age. Once you start creeping out of that, aw, so cute, age bracket and into full-on puberty, things get weird. You're not really a kid anymore, but your entire brand is. That awkward in-between phase, it hits every child star, and Ryan is no exception. Right now, he's stuck in this bizarre content loop that's way too childish for his age, but to be fair, his phase isn't even the worst we've seen. Not by a long shot. And honestly, there's a bit of hope. In this clip, Ryan says when he grows up, he wants to be an animator. And with the amount of resources, connections, and production infrastructure he's got around him, that's not just possible, it's guaranteed if he wants it. Way better than still unboxing toys at 99 with arthritis and a sponsorship deal.
I'm curious, like, what do you want to be when you grow up?
When I grow up, I want to be like an animator. I think it's really fun to do because like the drawing and then like at the end you get to see the whole thing and see what you've like worked on the whole time. And like sometimes I can see like the drafts first.
What started as a kid opening toys turned into a billion-dollar franchise built on one rule: keep the kid smiling, no matter how miserable the machine gets. Well, he's not that little kid anymore, but you wouldn't know it, because the cameras don't care about growing up, they only care about staying marketable. Both parents quit their jobs, not to raise him, but to manage him, or depending on how you look at it, use him. They built an entire company around his face, hired a 30-person production team, and called it Sunlight Entertainment. A nice name for something that never really sees daylight. Now Ryan's 14, still pretending to be 6, because the brand depends on it. The empire keeps running, the money keeps coming, and the kid who built it all doesn't even get to grow up. Here's what's happening right now. Those glory days of Ryan crossing 1 billion views per video, they're gone. Vapor, wiped off. What's left? A shadow of that monster channel, scratched to getting hundreds of thousands of views. Some videos barely break 100,000. That's not a decline. That's collapse. A 70+% plunge in viewership for a channel built on scale is not a hiccup, it's a hemorrhage. So why did it happen? Well, a few things. Aging out. Ryan is no longer adorable toddler energy. The audience that once delighted in watching him unbox toys is growing up. The new generation of kids probably wants different content. Second, algorithm changes and regulation. YouTube and regulators have tightened how content with minors is handled, how kids' channels get recommended and possibly throttled monetization. Third, of course, it's stale. The same open toy surprise eggs big reactions formula was repeated until it lost its spark. It's hard to sustain that energy when the star is growing up. And finally, competition. There are more creators, more formats, more trends. Even kids' attention spans have evolved. But here's the brutal truth. The machine that turned Ryan into a dollar sign is now threatening to tear itself apart. Because you can't milk a kid forever, eventually something has to change or bloodbath continues. After everything came crashing down, Ryan's mom even admitted they lost nearly 70% of their income overnight. 70%! We're talking about a family that once made millions off of a single upload, a kid whose name sold toys faster than most brands could ship them out. The money was endless until it wasn't. Overnight, it just stopped pouring in. They went from billion-view videos and million-dollar sponsorships to struggling for clicks because they never evolved. They tried to milk the same formula, the same image, the same childhood long after it was gone. The problem is, you can't fake being 6 when you're 14. The audience grew up, the algorithm moved on, and the world finally got tired of watching a brand pretending a teenager was still a child. They built an empire off of his youth, and when that youth ran out, so did everything else. And you'd think it couldn't get worse than that, right? One day you're making millions, the next day the faucet just runs dry. But somehow they managed to make it worse, because apparently losing their income wasn't enough. They had to lose the money they'd already made too. So Ryan's parents had this genius idea to make a movie called Ryan's World, the movie, Titan Universe Adventure. $10 million went into it. $624,000 came back out. That's a $9.5 million hole in the ground, covered with a colorful merch and fake smiles. At that point, it wasn't just bad luck. It was like they were trying to recreate their own personal version of the 2008 financial crisis. The empire didn't just crumble, it sank under the weight of its own greed. The film itself felt like an overpriced home video, something you'd expect to find buried on a family camcorder, not plastered across theater screens. Theaters were emptier than a Roblox server at 3 AM, and by the third week, indie films nobody had even heard of were outgrossing Ryan's so-called Hollywood debut. And honestly, when you look at it, this whole thing feels like karma in its purest form. They spent years milking that kid's childhood for clicks, turning every laugh and every toy into a paycheck. And when the views dried up, they thought they could just buy back relevance with the movie. Except now, not only did the new money stop coming in, but the old money started disappearing too. It's like the universe looked at this whole setup and said, "You wanted a cash grab? Here's your refund, with interest." In more ways than one, it's poetic justice. And when Ryan finally started showing signs of fatigue, like visibly, you could tell something was off. It didn't matter if he was shooting a video, doing an interview, or standing on a red carpet. The kid just looked done. Like he'd rather be doing literally anything else. Playing Minecraft in silence, watching paint dry, filing taxes, anything but this. So naturally, his parents had another brilliant idea. Well, we've still got 2 more kids, right? Enter Ryan's twin sisters. Fresh faces for the content machine. Suddenly, they're front and center, popping up in videos, thumbnails, and even their own animated show. It's like they just swapped out the batteries and kept the camera rolling. At this point, even the final boss of late-stage capitalism would look at this and say, alright, maybe tone it down a bit. And at this point, even the internet isn't blind to it anymore. The public opinion is finally catching up to what's been obvious for years, that the Kajis just didn't build a business, they built it out of their own kid. They turned childhood into a product line, a human being into content, their own child into a brand. And now as they're starting to do the same thing with his twin sisters, people aren't staying quiet about it anymore. Every upload, every new family project gets called out for what it really is, a desperate attempt to keep the machine alive. And the reason this is bad runs deeper than just bad parenting or greed, because when a kid grows up being filmed every day of his life, he never gets to figure out who he actually is. His emotions, his reactions, his identity, they stop being real and start being performances. When you've been told since you were 6 that your smile pays the bills, you stop knowing how to smile for yourself. It's not just exploitation anymore, it's erasure. You're watching a childhood get repackaged into content, sold to millions, and stripped away piece by piece, all in the name of staying relevant. Ryan's world today feels like watching a ghost of what it used to be. You can see it in his face, that spark's gone. The same kid who once lit up opening a toy now just goes through the motions. He laughs because he's supposed to, not because he wants to. Every interview, every video, it's written all over him. He's exhausted, drained, and honestly just done. But the saddest part is that his parents still act like he's 6. They keep talking to him in the same sing-song kid voice, handing him toys like he hasn't aged a decade, forcing him into this permanent childhood bubble because the brand depends on it. It's not parenting, it's preservation, preserving the illusion that he's still the same little boy the internet fell in love with, even if it means pretending not to see that he's grown up, that he's tired, that maybe he just wants to stop. And that's what makes it so disturbing. He's not being treated like a person anymore, just a mascot that outlived his childhood.
Ryan of Ryan's World. We did it! Ta-da! Whoa.
Ryan is busy with school, which, I mean, he is growing up, I get it, but instead of finding some kind of organic way to move forward, they thought, why not just throw a couple of adults in front of a green screen and have them play pirate superheroes or whatever the kids are into?
I just tried.
Oh, okay, got a little bit on the desk. There you go. There you go. There you go.
You mix into here or here, right? It's the same, right?
Change. Oh, very good, very good.
Did I pass? Did I pass?
Seriously, 2 grown adults in awful costumes overacting their way through what I can only describe as a fever dream version of a rejected locals kids show skit. I'm talking about the kind of stuff that feels like it came from one of those educational cable shows your grandma watches in the middle of the night except even those had better budgets. The whole vibe is like watching a live action version of Pee-wee's Playhouse, but without the charm, energy, or any trace of nostalgia. It's just two people flailing around with no purpose, acting like they're auditioning for a role in a high school play. There's no spark, no connection. It's like the channel's last-ditch attempt at clinging to relevance by throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. And surprise, surprise, nothing's sticking. The audience? Yeah, they're not buying it. Kids didn't sign up to watch random adults play dress up and awkwardly laugh in front of a green screen. Did they miss the memo? Ryan's fanbase was built on a kid being genuine, not on some half-baked low-budget adult skits. You used to see Ryan unboxing toys, doing slime experiments, and bringing that pure, infectious family energy. And now, they're lucky if they break 50K views in a week. A channel that once effortlessly crossed the 100 million views, now it's struggling to hit double digits. It's not even a good kind of flop, it's a painfully obvious desperation for anything that'll keep the lights on. Now let's talk about why they're scrambling. Oh, they're struggling alright. Ryan's out there doing homework while his parents are sweating bullets trying to keep the media empire afloat. And guess what? It's not about the views anymore, it's about survival. You know what happens when you build an empire on this scale? The lifestyle gets ridiculous. You've got a multi-million-dollar mansion, you're hopping on private jets to Disneyland, you've got full production teams running around doing everything but producing quality content, and suddenly the views dry up and you're stuck with a bunch of legal fees and a sinking ship.
999,998, 999,999, 1 million. Excellent. All right, training done. Time to go to superhero school. All right, guys. Before we go to superhero school, let me show you a sneak peek for my new movie, Ryan's World's Titan Review.
And Ryan's content? It did not age up, like at all. It's still rainbow thumbnails, high-pitched jingles, and his mom dressed as a pirate or something. Bro, you think a middle schooler with depression and a Discord addiction is tuning in for a toy review? Be serious.
Whoa! Look at all the pink. I love pink. It's my favorite color.
Oh yeah? The black is way cooler. Look, check out this black bed and black wall with spider webs. This room is so much better. You know, black is better.
No, pink is better.
No, I cannot agree.
Pink is way better. Don't you guys think?
No, black paints everything.
Pink is so colorful and wonderful.
Some creators pivot, they evolve. They hit a rebrand. Ryan's World? Just double down on the kid stuff like it's 2017 forever. Meanwhile, the new wave of toddlers, they've got better options. Cocomelo's basically a cult. Also, Ryan's older now. He's out here doing homework, which means less Ryan on screen. And when Ryan's not there, it's just his parents. And let's be honest, no one's tuning in for the parents. And let's also rewind to 2019 for a second. That's when the FTC stepped in with the biggest slap to YouTube's face, like a $170 million size slap, because they were collecting data on kids under 13 without parental consent, which obviously is illegal. I mean, you can't just let Google track your kids' every click and then target them with ads for toys. It's like giving a stranger your kid's social security number while they're in the candy aisle at Target. YouTube? They weren't about to catch that heat again, so they flipped the switch hard in 2020. Any channel that got flagged as made for kids, which, let's be real, Ryan's World is basically the poster child for that, got slammed with a list full of restrictions that pretty much killed any hopes of being a money-making machine. No personalized ads? Bye-bye ad revenue. These kids' channels were raking in millions just from ads targeting parents who were ready to buy the latest toy or whatever nonsense Ryan's parents were promoting that week. Now, not a chance. You're lucky if your video doesn't just disappear into the algorithm void. No comments? Rip engagement. You know that whole community thing? Gone. Ryan's World used to be a playground for these salty little kids leaving absolutely unhinged comments about how they wanted to buy every single thing Ryan reviewed. Now, it's crickets. No notification bell? You know what that means. Fewer returning viewers, basically fewer eyeballs on your content. YouTube doesn't even care anymore. It's like trying to throw a party and then not inviting your friends. And here's where it gets real ugly for Ryan. This wasn't just some toy unboxing channel. This was a whole empire. You think Ryan's World was just about getting some cash from Google Ads? Nah, dude, that was the front. The back end, it was Target aisles, exclusive deals with toy brands, Ryan's face on everything from toothbrushes to lunchboxes. It was an entire merchandising machine. But the second YouTube cracked down on targeted ads for kids, boom, bye-bye visibility. If YouTube's not recommending your stuff, you don't get views. And if parents don't trust YouTube as much, they're not shoving their toddlers in front of Ryan's face every day, which, you guessed it, leads to fewer toy sales, fewer licensing deals, fewer deals with whoever's still dumb enough to get Ryan his own branded mattress. It's all connected, bro. And then public scrutiny started coming in hot. Some watchdog groups like Truth in Advertising started stirring the pot, accusing Ryan's World of, get this, marketing to preschoolers without clear ad disclosures. Now, while the FTC didn't directly crush Ryan's World with a fine, the perception, donezo. Parents started side-eyeing the channel like, is this wholesome family fun, or are we all just getting scanned into buying overpriced plastic? It gets worse though. YouTube's algorithm, straight up capping. The machine that's supposed to recommend videos to your audience, it's now looking at Ryan's World like a dying animal and slowly walking away. Why? The engagement's down, the money's down. YouTube doesn't care about the causes anymore because Ryan's videos aren't clicking with the algorithm the way they used to. At this point, they're basically doing anything to stay relevant, and the results are nothing short of catastrophic. Like, you think these people were living in some kind of creative alternate universe where they thought hiring two random adult actors to replace Ryan himself would somehow bring the magic back. Spoiler alert, it's not working. It's honestly like watching a slow motion train wreck but with more costumes and more cringe. What makes things even worse is that they're constantly re-uploading the same videos over and over again. Like they're digging through the same dusty footage and pulling out classic clips from 2017, slapping a fresh thumbnail on it and calling it new content. Look, I get it. Back in the day, Ryan's World was the go-to channel for kids. It was like a magical roller coaster of toy unboxings, pretend play, and treasure hunts that felt fresh every time. One video, Ryan's dressing up like a superhero, the next he's taking you on a backyard scavenger hunt. The unpredictability was what kinda kept kids hooked, right? It was like a never-ending season of their favorite show. Every upload felt like it could be the next big thing. And parents? Well, they were just happy their kids were entertained for 20 minutes. Now it's like deja vu on steroids. Every other video is literally the same. Ryan versus Daddy for the 100th time. The same toy unboxing challenges, and don't even get me started on those recycled educational songs. Sometimes it's just a random compilation of old footage with a new thumbnail and clickbait title. Like, bro, we can see through that. We know what you're doing. Now even his sisters, Emma and Kate, are starting to get roped into this whole mess. Yeah, the twins, baby influencers 2.0. It wasn't even subtle. They started popping up in more skits, more product placements, more cutesy content that just happened to push merch. And let's be for real, it wasn't family bonding, it was brand onboarding.
First step, you have to put it inside. Turn that butt into this arrow.
You both hear it? You hear it?
Yeah. Yay! I got this one. This is not possible. I need.
Whoa! Oh, Emma coming too. Be careful. Hi, Emma. Whoa! Look at Emma go.
Welcome to Ryan's Family Review.
Take that! Take that! And this! And that!
This kid has spent over half his life filming toy reviews. That's not childhood. That's corporate servitude with Lego bricks.
I'm here to help.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm the Green Ghost, and I'm here to join your Titan family if you'd have me.
Well, if you want.
I was really young, like 3 years old. I always saw lots of really young like content creators, and I asked my parents if we could do something like that. And we started as just like a toy reviewing channel.
And then came EK World. Not even joking, that's the name. Sounds like a toddler run dystopia. But no, it's a full-blown spin-off franchise. These kids didn't just get videos, they got toy lines, backpacks, lunchboxes, probably NFTs at this point. The whole thing felt less like, aw, sibling fun, and more like executive decision made during a boardroom meeting while sipping from Ryan's World thermoses.
This video features EK World toys that Ryan, Emma, and Kate helped create.
Hi, Emma K.
Hi, Daddy.
Do you know what we're doing today?
No.
And before anyone says, but Ryan made millions. Yeah, he did. Keyword, past tense. His parents saw those dollar signs, and instead of letting him retire like a normal middle schooler, they kept the content train going full throttle. Ryan didn't get a childhood, he got brand deals. That boy didn't get grounded, he got demonetized. And now his parents are planning to do the same thing with Ryan's sisters. So let's be real here. This isn't content, it's asset diversification. The twins are being positioned like IP, not actual people. The characters in a never-ending YouTube cinematic universe, engineered to stay adorable and sellable while Ryan ages out of the target demo. That's the wildest part. There wasn't even a grace period, just a straight baton pass from Ryan's camera smile to Emma and Kate's. The twins look like they're being held hostage by glitter glue. Every video had this weird, almost uncanny vibe. Emma and Kate standing there trying to smile through it, looking like they'd rather be doing literally anything else. The body language didn't scream, "Yay, fun time." It screamed confused child actors being coached mid-take. Half the time they looked like they were waiting for someone behind the camera to give the go-ahead to blink.
What are we opening today?
Cookie maker pancake!
Which one do you want, Emma?
I want this one or this one.
I see. What about you, Kate?
I think I want the kitty cat. This one.
The pink one?
Yes.
Super cute. All right, but we have to guess which one that you guys are gonna get.
Ryan's world? More like child exploitation world. And honestly, it's not even a joke at this point, it's a summary. With everything said, it's definitely that time to get to the internet's verdict on the situation as well. Imagine being 14 and still having to build cardboard forts and travel through time. It's funny on the surface, but if you sit with it for a second, it's actually depressing. Because the commenter isn't mocking Ryan, they're pointing out how unnatural it is that he's still being forced to act like a little kid for views. When you're 14, you're supposed to be figuring out who you are, not pretending to be 6 because your parents turned your personality into a franchise. This wasn't spontaneous sibling playtime, this was a production, a well-oiled, brand-safe, merch-compatible operation. And if you watched long enough, it became crystal clear those girls weren't running toward the spotlight, they were being nudged, politely but very persistently, straight into it. Because that's what happens when your older brother got turned into a billion-dollar mascot before he even knew how to spell mascot. Ryan didn't get into this because he wanted to be famous. He was a toddler, unboxing toys on camera while his parents quietly built a content empire around him. They didn't accidentally stumble into success, they engineered it.
Go wake him up. Ryan.
What?
Ryan, I have a surprise for you.
What?
Look over here.
Whoa!
What do you see?
It's a giant flaming McLean egg!
The Kaji family didn't just blur the line between parenting and profiting. They straight up body slammed through it and sold merch on the way down. This wasn't a family vlog. This was a monetized Truman Show starring 3 kids who couldn't legally open a YouTube account. Every scraped knee, every birthday, every candid meltdown got packaged into digestible, brand-safe content with a thumbnail and a sponsorship deal. The kids weren't just in the videos, they were the product. The household didn't have a living room anymore, it had a set.
Today is Titan Family Training Day. While I warm up, check out this clip from Ryan's World the Movie, Titan Universe Adventure.
Ryan's World didn't just toe the line between content and ads, it full-on yeeted itself into a legal gray zone and dared the FTC to catch up. This wasn't subtle, it was a preschooler targeted shopping spree masquerading as fun family content. And the wild part? The whole thing ran like a damn infomercial with finger paint. Big name collabs, Hasbro, Netflix, Walmart got shoved straight into a toddler's face with the enthusiasm of Toys R Us on fire. Everything was sponsored, branded, clickable. But none of it was clearly marked for the tiny humans watching who could barely form sentences, let alone read paid promotion. Tina, the watchdog group, finally said this is unhinged and pulled up receipts. They dragged Ryan's World to the FTC in 2019, calling them out for the native ads disguised as content. And honestly, they weren't wrong. Those product placements were smoother than a crypto rug pull. The FTC rules clearly disclose sponsorships, and Ryan's World basically whispered it once in Comic Sans and called it a day. The worst part, the whole thing was aimed at kids under 5, literal babies who thought the iPad was alive. You could tell them SpongeBob was real and they'd believe it. They weren't clocking FTC disclosures, they were watching Ryan open a toy, not realizing it was a paid campaign. The Kajis basically claimed they were following all the rules. They leaned on the YouTube terms of service like it was a moral shield, while the entire internet watched them funnel ads into the developing brains of children who still believed in Santa. The worst part is that they even ran ads for wine and R-rated movies on videos meant for kids. Meanwhile, YouTube got caught up too because of course they did. Google got slapped with a $170 million fine around the same time for violating COPPA laws. Basically the government screaming at them to stop data mining toddlers. Suddenly, everyone started pretending to care about kids' safety while quietly panicking about brand deals drying up. Loan Kaji, the mom or CEO, ran the whole thing like a family-friendly factory. Milestones, filmed. Random Tuesday tantrums, content gold. Nothing was sacred. Boundaries? Who needs those when you're building an empire off of kids' growing pains? She didn't just raise children, she franchised them. Motherhood was basically a production schedule. And then the internet did what the internet does and dug way back. Turns out, Loan had a little plot twist back in 2002. A shoplifting charge that she didn't even finish community service for, which meant, yes, she ended up doing jail time. Now, stealing makeup from a JCPenney 2 decades ago isn't the crime of the century, but you're now running a $1 billion kid content operation. It starts to feel like a red flag that aged a little too well, because it wasn't about the shoplifting, it was the pattern, the disregard for consequences. The rules don't apply if there is something to gain energy. Hollywood kids had the Coogan law. YouTube kids have vibes. That's it. Literal child actors got lawyers, trust funds, and union reps. YouTube kids get ring lights, a parent with a Canva subscription, and a daily content quota. You can't even call it a loophole anymore, it's just a big giant cavern in the system. Parents like the Kajis took full advantage because there was no one telling them, hey, maybe don't make your kid toddler film 3 sponsored videos before lunch. Every decision, what the kids wore, what they said, what got filmed, what didn't, went through the same 2 people signing the checks, and there was zero third-party oversight. No studio, no laws, no accountability, just vibes and brand deals. Ryan, Emma, and Kate weren't just overexposed, they were straight up unprotected.
999,198, 999,199, 1 million.
Excellent.
All right, training done, time to go to superhero school. All right, guys. Before we go to superhero school, let me show you a sneak peek for my new movie, Ryan's World's Titan review.
Whoa! Look at all the pink. I love pink. It's my favorite color.
Oh yeah? The black is way cooler. Look, check out this black bed and black wall with spider webs. This room is so much better. You know, black is better.
No, pink is better.
No, I cannot agree.
Pink is way better. Don't you guys think?
No, black, pink, everything.
Pink is so colorful and wonderful.
Some creators pivot, they evolve. They hit a rebrand. Ryan's World? Just double down on the kid stuff like it's 2017 forever. Meanwhile, the new wave of toddlers, they've got better options. Cocomelo's basically a cult. Also, Ryan's older now. He's out here doing homework, which means less Ryan on screen. And when Ryan's not there, it's just his parents. And let's be honest, no one's tuning in for the parents. These kids' channels were raking in millions just from ads targeting parents who were ready to buy the latest toy or whatever nonsense Ryan's parents were promoting that week. Now, not a chance. You're lucky if your video doesn't just disappear into the algorithm void. No comments? Rip engagement. You know that whole community thing? Gone. Ryan's World used to be a playground for these salty little kids leaving absolutely unhinged comments about how they wanted to buy every single thing Ryan reviewed. Now, it's crickets. No notification bell? You know what that means. Fewer returning viewers, basically fewer eyeballs on your content. YouTube doesn't even care anymore. It's like trying to throw a party and then not inviting your friends. And here's where it gets real ugly for Ryan. This wasn't just some toy unboxing channel. This was a whole empire. You think Ryan's World was just about getting some cash from Google Ads? Nah, dude, that was the front. The back end, it was Target aisles, exclusive deals with toy brands, Ryan's face on everything from toothbrushes to lunchboxes. It was an entire merchandising machine. But the second YouTube cracked down on targeted ads for kids, boom, bye-bye visibility. If YouTube's not recommending your stuff, you don't get views. And if parents don't trust YouTube as much, they're not shoving their toddlers in front of Ryan's face every day, which, you guessed it, leads to fewer toy sales, fewer licensing deals, fewer deals with whoever's still dumb enough to give Ryan his own branded mattress. It's all connected, bro. And then, public scrutiny started coming in hot. Some watchdog groups like Truth in Advertising started stirring the pot, accusing Ryan's World of, get this, marketing to preschoolers without clear ad bad disclosures. Now, while the FTC didn't directly crush Ryan's World with a fine, the perception donezo. Parents started side-eyeing the channel like, is this wholesome family fun or are we all just getting scammed into buying overpriced plastic? It gets worse though. YouTube's algorithm straight up capping. The machine that's supposed to recommend videos to your audience, it's now looking at Ryan's World like a dying animal and slowly walking away. Why? The engagement's down, the money's down. YouTube doesn't care about the causes anymore because Ryan's videos aren't clicking with the algorithm the way they used to. At this point, they're basically doing anything to stay relevant, and the results are nothing short of catastrophic. Like, you think these people were living in some kind of creative alternate universe where they thought hiring 2 random adult actors to replace Ryan himself would somehow bring the magic back. Spoiler alert, it's not working. It's honestly like watching a slow motion train wreck but with more costumes and more cringe. What makes things even worse is that they're constantly re-uploading the same videos over and over again. Like they're digging through the same dusty footage and pulling out classic clips from 2017, slapping a fresh thumbnail on it and calling it new content. Look, I get it. Back in the day, Ryan's World was the go-to channel for kids. It was like a magical roller coaster of toy unboxings, pretend play, and treasure hunts that felt fresh every time. One video, Ryan's dressing up like a superhero, the next he's taking you on a backyard scavenger hunt. The unpredictability was what kinda kept kids hooked, right? It was like a never-ending season of their favorite show. Every upload felt like it could be the next big thing. And parents? Well, they were just happy their kids were entertained for 20 minutes. Now it's like deja vu on steroids. Every other video is literally the same.
Okay, so Ryan, do you remember the very first video you posted?
Yeah, the very first video that we made was about me going to the store and me getting a Lego Duplo train and then bringing it back home and playing with it.
Oh my gosh, I love Legos. Let's see it. I love Legos.
Let's push your choo-choo train around. Can you push it around?
Uh-huh.
Whee!
Was that fun?
Oh my God, I can see why you make so much money doing this. You're adorable. So wait, you do this with your whole family. So is it fun for you? Because it is all family involved?
Yeah, it's fun to do it with all of my family. And it never gets boring because we do different things.
I know, I like changing it up as well. I mean, to Sean and Luann, how did this all start?
Well, Brian's been watching YouTube ever since he's little, and he started watching other kids on YouTube. And one day he just come up and asked me, you know, can we start a YouTube channel? There's other kids on here. It looks like they're having fun. Then I started watching YouTube videos with him, and it really did look like the family on there, the kids on there were having a blast together. So I thought, why not? We can use it as a fun experience, bonding experience together. So decided to just take him to the store and then just ask him, what toy do you want to play with? And that's just how we got started.